How does sex correlate with respecting your husband? Action!
How does sex correlate with respecting your husband? Quite simple. I mean, well, number one, if you respect your husband, then you love your husband. Now, if you don't respect your husband, then more than likely you don't love him. Because, I mean, it's hard to love someone you don't respect. And it's really hard to respect someone you don't love. So, when it comes down to sex, sex is all of that and then some, and it's passion, and it's your emotions, it's your communication, it's all of that, right? And so when the Bible says, wives are supposed to respect their husbands, um, you know, that does correlate to having sex. Like, wives should actually have sex with their husbands, and husbands should have sex with their wives. There shouldn't be a whole thing there like, I don't feel like it or anything like that. Why? Because if you respect your husband, you would want to be the person he wants to have sex with. If you respect yourself, even, you would want to have sex with your husband. It doesn't make sense to not have sex with the person you married and call it respect. It's kind of like you knowing that your wife has a need, and I'm just not gonna give that person that need simply because I don't respect them.
But that doesn't correlate. I have a rebuttal. That doesn't.
It does correlate. Look,
you could very
if
well
you had a
respect
need
someone and love them and still be like, man, I'm tired, or
yeah, that's possible. You could be tired, but are you tired every day, every week, every month, every year? No. And if you're on your period all year, then there's something more to deal with than just the idea of sex. There's a huge level of self-respect that must be handled regardless of any of that. Self-respect, respect correlates with sex every day of the week.
So are you saying sex is a need, like hunger is a need or thirst is a need?
Yeah. You don't know any animals that don't have sex. There's not an animal in the world that doesn't have sex. I mean, now there might be some asexual, whatever, but the normal animals actually do.
Normal.
All right? The normal animals actually do. And so for the 97% of normal animals that are on the earth where there's a male, female variety, they typically come together, have sex, and show their love and respect with one another inside of intercourse. It's just a normal way of life. When people choose not to do that when they're married, it's a disrespect to their own home. It actually decreases the morale, it decreases the value, and that's part of the reason why women will leave, especially because they don't feel respected enough for the love to come to them. Pornography enters in. They like, he just doesn't respect me. He doesn't love me. It's a correlation. Sex.
What about pornography that was already there before they got married? It doesn't matter then. It's been.
It depends on the level of freedoms that marriage may have. But a lot of marriages deal with the idea of sex, and it's like, I'm not having sex here. I need to have sex, but for whatever reason, it is not taught that sex is a need, like water, like food, like shelter. It's not taught as that. And I mean, so if sex is not a need, then tell everyone that's masturbating to stop. That's the whole world. The whole world just stopped. Tell everyone that's cheating to stop. I mean, for real. Like, if it's not a need, then let's deal with this. In fact, I guarantee you that the world would be a much more angrier place where there's no sex happening. I guarantee this. I can put this on my mama. So, yes, respect is definitely correlating to love making, sex, intercourse, whatever, what have you. Where the person has respect, they definitely have love and they have sex inside of their relationship. Where there's no respect, there will be no sex. Bottom line. In fact, put it like this. If a man cheats on a woman, that woman's going to be like, you know what? I got to go through too much to even do this. This is just too much. And that man is going to still be in need, even though he went out. He probably went out because he was in need. Could have been emotional needs, could have been physical needs. All of that is still the same. Most men have a need to be respected. So where that need is not being fulfilled, typically the sexual need isn't being fulfilled either. And so then they go out and then bad stuff happens. Then they got to come back home and try to fix it. And then the respect is gone. So then there's no more sex. There's a huge correlation with that. I'm willing to bet all of your friends are going to agree that if there's no respect, there's more than likely no sex. If there's a lot of respect, then more than likely there's a whole lot of sex going on.
But isn't the fact that libidos change and doesn't all of that like turn into a factor?
Wait, sure.
Or emotional stability or emotional instability.
But libido, all right, so look, I don't have a libido to clean the dishes, but I definitely do them.
Then you're making sex a chore.
Well, guess what? Sometimes you need to choreize. Sometimes you need to feed your children. Sometimes you need to do what you have to do to make relationships work. I don't understand why we would say, oh, don't make sex a chore, when the truth of the matter is some days everyone don't feel like it, but you better get it popping. Otherwise, there's going to be a disrespect and dishonor entering into the relationship, and that's going to destroy the relationship because I want you, but you don't want me. Now, rejection comes in with disrespect. And that person doesn't feel respected because they just went out there, worked 14 hours, and I'm coming home trying to get this comfort from my wife. And my wife, like, she got middle fingers up. It don't work.
Middle fingers?
Middle fingers.
It's taken as middle fingers.
That's taken as middle fingers for all men. And even for women. Look, there's some men out here, women go out, they work 14 million hours, they come home, they like, I'm a boss, and I be working hard, I'm paying the cost now, come on, big dog. And he be like, you got me here with these kids acting all foolish, and you out there having fun? Nope. And he boils up inside us, turns over, put the covers on, wear his flannel pajamas, and she be sitting up there like... So, I mean, it works the same way. People are people no matter what. And respect is necessary no matter what. Are you actually recording me?
I am.
You're actually recording this? You're a fool. But the truth is the truth. And God put it inside of the word. It is what it is. Husbands, love your wives as Jesus Christ loved the church. That means you're going to have to sacrifice, all that stuff. But wives also need to respect their husbands. I mean, love and respect, not the same term, but they are terms that work so closely together that if you don't have one, you don't have the other. It's kind of like me saying, I love God, but I don't respect him. That doesn't make sense. I respect God, but I don't love him. That don't even make sense.
But I'm just trying to get the correlation between...
love making
and respect.
There's a huge correlation. If I choose to not give you any level of sex, intercourse, or intimacy, it disrespects our bond. It disrespects the relationship. It's a disrespect. In fact, eventually you'll start to feel like I'm not useful. There's no respect. Respect or honor is the idea of using something for what they're supposed to be used for. Abuse is the exact opposite. I'm going to not use the person for what they're used for. And that could go for any item. So respect is when I do the right thing by it. Abuse is when I do the opposite. So if there are genitalia, they should be used the proper way. That's called respect.
So if they're there, they might as well be used. Is this what
they
you're saying?
They should be used the proper way. That's called respect. God would see it, that he would make it that you would have what you have, I would have what I have, and we should bring them together. She's rolling. Look, but that's the truth though, and so often we try to go inside of this abnormal type of vein, because I mean everyone has wants, everyone has needs, but the truth of the matter is, you become abnormal when you go against the norm that God has placed inside of life. Period. Be fruitful and multiply. How you gonna multiply if ain't nobody coming together?
But when you don't want any more children, is it still being used properly, or is it improper use?
Well, that's one use of making love, having sex. That's one use. But there's so many more uses. But if you don't use it, that's called abuse. Now, it's one thing to, hey, I can't use it because, you know what I'm saying, I got an issue. When you have an issue, then the couple works together to work around the issue. But they still have enough respect for the fact that they have an issue to try to work around it. But when both people don't have an issue and it's not happening, come on, dude. There's people that's single begging to be inside of a position of marriage because they want to have sex. They want to be respected on that level. They want to be honored. They want to be taken care of. Sex and respect correlate in almost every way. Because I'm not about to have sex with someone. Normal people don't have sex with people that they don't respect. I mean, that's called abuse. That's called using someone. Now, you could use your hand for that. That's abuse as well.
That's abuse. Masturbation being
abuse. Mutilation. Abuse. So, I mean, do you see it as like the meaning of respect, the meaning of abuse, it just correlates with sex. I mean, they have a huge correlation. I've never seen a woman be in love passionately with a man that she does not respect. It just won't ever happen in life. Period. I personally think that every woman has to have a certain level of respect, a certain level of love that goes into that respect for them to actually have sex. That's just what it is. I mean, I think men are kind of that same way. Men don't want to just have sex to have sex.
No, you don't, huh?
No, most men actually want to have a relationship. They want to have passion and love and respect all inside of this one act, and create something that, you know, everyone else wishes that they had. Like, most men want that. They want great stuff. They don't want to be like out here acting like some poodle humping stuff and then walking away like, all right, I got mine off. Did you? Like, I mean, not even caring. Most men actually care about if they take care of their wives. That's called respect. That's called honor. You know, most men do that. Now, there's some boys that are like poodles. They will hump you and then in 2 minutes leave you alone and walk away. Ain't nothing I can say to that. I just feel like, you know, they just used you, like...
Or they're lazy. Because laziness would mean that...
Disrespect.
I don't see...
That's a disrespect. If you're lazy in bed, that's disrespect.
But for me, lazy is... Say, for instance, the anatomical structure of a woman would make it so that a lot of times men don't want to find out what it takes, honestly, to please their woman. Because, don't look crazy, because, look at your...
I wish I could see it.
Because when it's about the longevity of the sexual act and or whether or not what's happening is honestly pleasing.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of men, they give up.
Of course they
like,
no.
Get something else because she just never comes.
Well, they would give up, but that's also so it's laziness on both ends. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're never pleased, it's not all that other person's fault. It's definitely your fault. and
You
and
see, you
and
got,
if and
oh,
if he's never getting it right, it's not all his fault. It's both people's fault. But laziness means I'm not willing to
lazy.
try to get it all the way there. And I mean, women can be lazy, men can be lazy. And when laziness is there, what is that? That is called disrespect. Because you don't respect what you have. You don't honor what you have. So guess what happens to lazy lovers? They get replaced with working lovers.
That's not always true.
It's not always true, but I'm willing to bet you that 70% of relationships and marriages can say it's true. I'm willing to bet you that 70% of relationships can say that.
Are either full of oneself, selfish, or just bat out just straight bat crap, lustful and crazy, and again it goes back to the person being lazy, because it's I'm not willing to work with the person that is not willing to work with me. So,
but I mean, that's a disrespect. They're not willing to work with you. They don't even want to try to even get to an orgasm. They don't want to work. So if they don't want to work, then whose fault is that? It's both people's fault. It's still a disrespect. Sex is a two-person thing.
It's not love on the street.
So, I mean, so many times people they have these issues with sex, but the true issue, especially when we talk about laziness, the true issue is either they're discouraged, and that can be fixed quite easily, or they've had bad sexual encounters when they were much younger, and now you're having to live throughout the bad sexual encounter, so that could resolve into some sterile or cold sex, not hot and juicy and wet and beautiful and sometimes even nasty, freaky, whatever you want to have. Like, I mean, if you've had some trauma in the past, it's going to stop all that. That's for sure. You're going to still remember the trauma that happened, the rape that happened, the molestation that happened, all that stuff. I mean, but if you don't choose to work to try to get past that, that's called disrespect. Sex and respect correlates on almost every level. There's a book called Love and Respect that was put out long ago.
Gary Chapman.
Or Eaglesworth or something like that.
No, I think it's Gary Chapman.
No, it's the
red and white book.
Yeah, but it's Ingalls something, I don't know. But they in that book they separate love and respect, and they make it that the woman's job is to respect only, and the man's job is to love only. But when I look at the word, I look at it as it's very interchangeable almost at all points. Because, I mean, sure, we want our wives to respect us, but the reason why they would have to respect us is because they should already love us based upon the curse. You are supposed to be wanting your man at all times. Like, that's a part of the curse from the beginning. And then respect is the other thing where it's like, well, you gonna respect her because you didn't want to respect what she saw from the jump, and then y'all both fell in. So, this is the result of that. But God was trying to bring us together to bring us to revelation that we have to work together inside of respect, inside of love, in order to get to the next level inside of relationships. You can't get to the next level inside of relationships if you don't respect one another. You can't get there sexually either. Let me say this. Everybody's body must be respected in such a way that it comes to an orgasm. If it is not respected in the proper way, it will never orgasm. It will always reject you because there's no respect there. Love is the same thing. If there's no love there, the body will not respond. The body will take it as this is a object rubbing against me, instead of a person creating a stimulation that causes revelation. So you know, yes, that was good, wasn't it? That was
I,
awesome. You know that's awesome.
I just rolled my eyes.
She rolled her eyes because that was so darn good. It just rolled off my tongue. So, I mean, that's the truth. When people choose not to respect one another, that's when the doors open up for all levels of terrible things. And respect means, all right, well, I'm gonna be lazy. For those that are into, you know, we was watching Chris Rock. He said something about some terrible things. But for those that do oral sex, like, well, I'm just here to do it. Then you just gonna be there, and that's gonna be a disrespect because you're just there. Showing up gets you a D. Showing up don't get you a C. Showing up gets you a D because you're already in the bedroom. You're already there. So showing up doesn't work. But you gotta show up and show out. You know, don't show up and just be there because being there is nice to do. It's kind of like talking with someone that's not present. That's a disrespect. It's like, dude, why are you focused on your phone when we're talking? Why? Sex is the same level of respect throughout life. It's like, I mean, sex is even the idea of being comfortable, as well as looking after the other person's needs. For example, I could be upstairs cooking eggs. I'm cooking eggs because I know that she needs these eggs to survive. Like, this is her need. She needs to eat. I might as well make these eggs. Okay. That's a level of sex. That's a level of respect. That's a level of intimacy. When someone says, forget her, I ain't making no eggs, forget her needs, because you're already there. So that gets you a D. That doesn't get you a C, B, or A. Being there actually makes it worse. because you're there, but you're not paying attention to the needs. You're not seeing the person starving. You're not seeing a person crying out for attention. You're not seeing where the body is crying out. You're not feeling that. You're not sensitive enough to understand what's going on sexually or in life. So you don't respect it. And when you don't respect something for long enough, if you starve something for long enough, they're going to go find food. If I starve my wife, she's going to go find food. Period. Because she realizes she must eat. Same thing with sex between husband and wife. Wife needs sex. Husbands need sex. And when there is no sex, it's guaranteed that everyone's frustrated, angry, bickering, moaning, money is jacked up. When sex is messed up, money is messed up, and communication is messed up. And typically it's the opposite way as well. Money, communication, and sex is messed up. All of that is messed up all at the same time. But, I mean, this is what it is. Just me just rambling. This is what it is, though.
All right. Deuces.